weren't there and weren't there in the morning and didn't know what was going on, Greenville Convention Center hired a new fire marshal to come in. And of course, you know, you've been to indoor shows before, so you know how it goes. You know, check a quarter tank of gas and, you know, batteries disconnected, that kind of stuff. And for the most part, we've never had any issues. I've never had any issues since I've started with Klean and doing the shows. And I've worked for other organizations and, you know, helped out host other events. And, you know, you always get that one fire marshal who is a stickler, but we work our way through it and we move on. This particular fire marshal was out to get us. If you were there and you were present, you know that it was the hardest thing I probably ever had done. He was picking and choosing which cars he wanted to check the gas or which cars he needed the batteries disconnected. For the most part, there were several vehicles in there that I know and he knew that batteries couldn't be disconnected. And, you know, we were forced to make some tough decisions. So those of you who were there and helped me with the fire marshal, I truly appreciate it. It was very tough. This guy fought us to the end. It was tough. It was tough. It backed us up an hour and a half of us opening the event. There are some of you that, you know who you guys are. I fought for you till the end. I'm glad that it worked out where none of you had to be removed from the show or had to miss out on what we did. You know, I appreciate you guys and be patient with us and the staff that was there. In all of my time that I've been doing this, I've never had encountered a fire marshal that was like that. To make it even worse, he was a car guy. He was a classic car guy. And he just didn't appreciate the tuners and the stance scene. Because if you notice and you were there, he was gravitated to, you know, the classic cars and the muscle. And he had no issues with none of those guys. He had issues with us, with the stance and the tuners and the guys that had high performance in them. You know, asking him to disconnect batteries and he wasn't understanding that you know, some of you guys had tunes in your cars and it was going to be difficult, or some of you couldn't disconnect because it has a security safety feature that after an hour your car wouldn't turn back on. He was not understanding that. Those of you who helped with the situation, you know who you are. I don't have to mention names. Thank you. Those of you who grabbed tools out of your cars to help the other fellow enthusiasts that needed to disconnect their battery. Thank you. That is what the industry is about. The industry is about helping one another, all in one common goal, and to have a good, successful event.
First one to eat all the nuggets. First one to eat all the nuggets. That's 20 nuggets. That's 20 pieces of meat in your mouth. 2, 1, go! People, let's go! Oh, yes. Eat that pizza. Hold on.
sign or a signal at the
team is just more than a name, it's a foundation. These guys are the foundations of the Carolinas. They help build what we do. Thank you. Because without you guys, I wouldn't fucking be here.
What's up, everybody? Sam with Klean Exhibition, presented by Modfind. We're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna jump into talking about Greenville, which was this past Sunday. Today is Wednesday, so literally about 3 days ago. And we're gonna talk about the fire marshal. For those of you who weren't there and weren't there in the morning and didn't know what was going on, Greenville Convention Center hired a new fire marshal to come in. And of course, you know, you've been to indoor shows before, so you know how it goes. You know, check a quarter tank of gas and, you know, batteries disconnected, that kind of stuff. And for the most part, we've never had any issues. I've never had any issues since I've started with Klean and doing the shows. And I've worked for other organizations and, you know, helped out host other events. And, you know, you always get that one fire marshal who is a stickler, but we work our way through it and we move on. This particular fire marshal was out to get us. If you were there and you were present, you know that it was the hardest thing I probably ever had done. He didn't want to, not say bend the rule, but what's good for one has to be good for another. No exceptions. He was picking and choosing which cars he wanted to check the gas or which cars he needed the batteries disconnected. For the most part, there were several vehicles in there that I know and he knew that batteries couldn't be disconnected. And, you know, we were forced to make some tough decisions. So those of you who were there and helped me with the fire marshal, I truly appreciate it. It was very tough. This guy fought us to the end. Some of you know, some of you don't. He wrote me 7 tickets at $1,092 each ticket. The fine was almost, you know, $7,800, something like that, almost $8,000, because there were 7 cars in the building that the owners were not there at the time he was, and he couldn't check their gas or he couldn't check their battery disconnection. And I appreciate those who took it upon themselves to make the moves to help me with the situation, to try to explain to the fire marshal that there was no way possible to do it. It was tough. It was tough. It backed us up an hour and a half of us opening the event. There are some of you that, you know who you guys are. I fought for you till the end. I'm glad that it worked out where none of you had to be removed from the show or had to miss out on what we did. I appreciate you guys and being patient with us and the staff that was there. In all of my time that I've been doing this, I've never had encountered a fire marshal that was like that. To make it even worse, he was a car guy. He was a classic car guy, and he just didn't appreciate the tuners and the stand scene. Because if you notice and you were there, he was gravitated to the classic cars and the muscle, and he had no issues with none of those guys. He had issues with us, with the stance and the tuners and the guys that had high performance in them. Asking him to disconnect batteries, and he wasn't understanding that some of you guys had tunes in your cars and it was going to be difficult, or some of you couldn't disconnect because it has a security safety feature that after an hour your car wouldn't turn back on. He was not understanding that. Those of you who helped with the situation, who you are. I don't have to mention names. Thank you. Those of you who grabbed tools out of your cars to help the other fellow enthusiasts that needed to disconnect their battery, thank you. That is what the industry is about. The industry is about helping one another, all in one common goal, and to have a good, successful event. And successful, it's a tough word. Greenville was not what it was. I'm very grateful and thankful for those that came out and supported us. From the previous years to this one, the support is no longer there, and it's tough because a lot of you support other companies, other brands, and I keep hearing it. Sam doesn't have the clout. Klean doesn't have the clout. So Sam's a good guy, but he doesn't have clout, so we're not going to go to his show. I don't want you at my show. I don't care. If you're not there because you're truly supporting me, and you're supporting the vision, supporting the entertainers, the entertainment, supporting your fellow builders, your fellow brands, don't come. Don't come at all. I don't care for you. Out of respect to a fellow brand and a fellow entrepreneur and a good friend, I'm not gonna name drop, because I had a conversation with him about certain situations that floated around back doors, and I was sent several screenshots of what people were saying. But if you come to my show and you hug me and you tell me you love me and you tell me you're there to support me and my family and the brand, and then you write numerous messages on the back end on how you didn't make any money and you were disappointed and that you're no longer going to support me, don't be a hypocrite. Don't come to my show. If you're going to be a hypocrite, don't come to my show. I don't want you. You got to understand, I'm not here to make money. I understand that some people, this is their livelihood. But here's the thing. If you really want to support myself and you want your business and your brand to grow, you got to meet me in the middle. I provide, you know what? Let's do it like this. Vendors. In order for you to be successful, and I'm telling you first experience because I'm also a vendor, you got to put in the work. If I make you a promo flyer, share it. Put it on your stories. Make a hard post. Tell your customers, tell your fellow followers that you're going to be at the show. You know why? Because that helps my show grow. You know how many times I've wasted this season making promo flyers for none of you to share them? You think I don't go to your pages to see who you actually support? There's a lot of you that don't share my posts. You show up to the show thinking there's going to be 10,000 people there, but you didn't put no work in for yourself and for your brand. How do you expect to make the money if you're not even promoting yourself? But then you want to go ahead and talk crap about me and my show and how it didn't evolve, or it failed, or it wasn't successful. I'm not saying that I failed, but just for you, so you can know, failure builds character. I've gone to hundreds of shows, wasted tons of money, and came out negative. And I don't bash the promoter. I don't bash the event. On the other hand, I go and I tell the promoter, hey, whatever you need from me next time, let me know, man. I got you. I will help you. Same thing I do for brands. Hey, man, you didn't do good. I understand. I'm the same way, bro. What do you need from me, man? Let's make this happen. I extend my hand to help you guys, but you don't do that in return. But you go on social media and you send messages to other people bashing us. I've got plenty of them from this weekend, especially from the ones that were there that gave me a hug and said you were there to support me. I'm going to deny vendors like I deny cars, because I don't need you guys. Vendors pop up every season, brand new vendors, willing to sacrifice everything to make a move. A show, and I say this at my shows, I am nothing without you guys, and you guys are nothing without me. We have to work together. You can't expect a show to do everything and then you sit there and do nothing. You know how many times I walked around my show and seen plenty of vendors just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, playing on their phones? You're not going to make money. If you're just sitting there, you're not going to make money. You know how I know? Because my sister-in-law was in the front and she was just selling hats and patches. She made over $1,000 selling hats and patches. So she made money. Why? Because every time someone walked by her booth, she pulled them in and she sold them something. Just like I did. Every time a customer walked by, we pulled them in and we try to sell them something. So you can't blame the show host all the time. You guys complain about every event. I've heard it. I'm in the circuit. You complain about me. You complain about Slammed Enough. You complain about Elite Tuner. You complain about Import Evolution. You complain about fucking Tampa's Finest. You motherfuckers complain about everybody. Everybody. You think that we don't put in hard enough work? Let me tell you something. I am probably 15 grand in the red right now. You think I don't know? $45 registrations. I only had 120 cars. You would have thought I filled the building. Nah. Y'all didn't come to support. I'm just being real. Y'all didn't come to support. The lowest registration with wrestling, rock band. Man, some of you didn't even come here to support your fellow peers. Laidout, all those guys, those are part of our family. That's part of the industry. All those guys have cars that come to shows. You guys even go support them. You think that shit don't hurt? Here I am spilling it out, because from now on, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the real Sam. Tired of being nice. Man, how about this one? How about I gave a vendor, a nice little hookup because it's their first time coming. But guess what they did? They opened a side door and let several of their people walk through without paying. How do you think that hurts my business? I take care of you, but you don't take care of me. It's not fair. You guys complaining all the time. Oh, well, this show does this and this show does that. Oh, it's not fair. Man, you guys complain about everything. Good. If you do good, you complain. If they do bad, you complain. It's never a happy medium with you guys. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm not hurting? Nah, man. What I do? I get up, I promo my next event, keep on moving for the next season. That's the difference between me and you. I'm going to keep grinding. You know how many vendors and brands that I know in the last 10 years stopped existing and brand new ones pop up? I'm probably one of the longest ones right now. Clean 2015, and it's 2023, and I'm here. You know why? Because I never gave up. I keep grinding. Man, I've had no money looking through my sofas to get change to feed my family, to pay my bills. Shit, I haven't paid my car note in 3 fucking months. How about them apples? You see me complaining about it? No, I'm still grinding and hustling. So y'all better level up and do the same thing, man. Stop complaining about everybody else's event. Stop complaining about the events you go to. Like I said, I've been to several events where we make no money. Nothing. Do I complain? Nah. Does it hurt me? Absolutely. Absolutely. But this is what we signed up for. We signed up for this. This is part of it. See, the problem is that some of y'all got really comfortable. Some of y'all think that all the shows around the season are like Gatlinburg. Because y'all go to Gatlinburg and make $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and y'all think that every show is like that. It's not. The circuit is so oversaturated, people have to pick and choose. You guys know this. You got to pick and choose what events. Some of you know. Some of you are already asking me for what's going on for 2024, so I can put you down. My events are for the people. My events are for the families. My events are to have fun. My events is for you to network and see your friends. If you can't understand that, then that's fine. You don't need to come to my events. If you're complaining because you lost $300 or $400 and you didn't know networking and you were too busy getting drunk and partying with everybody else, that's your fault. Spend some more time at your booth. Spend some more time at your booth and draw people in. Stop blaming all of us who helped put the event together and try to create a space for you to show your brand. Because that's why we do it. Instead of complaining, why don't you reach out and say, hey man, what can I do to help you with your event? You don't have to do it to me. If you don't want to come to mine, and I don't care. But don't complain about the next guy. Why don't you reach out to them and say, hey man, I want to come to your event. What can I do to help you out so we can get maximum exposure? Because that's how it works. Literally. This is why I'm here doing this, so you guys can know, man, I'm tired. Tired of the bickering and the complaining and the comparing of events and talking about that promoter and talking about that promoter. Us promoters are tired. All the way from the ones that are down in Florida and Miami, all the way the ones that are up north, all the way to Boston, all the way the ones that are up in California. We're all tired. We're tired of the same thing. You think we don't hear this? You think us promoters, even though we don't talk constantly, but we're on the same situation, man. We're tired. We're tired of listening to the same thing, the complaints. Help us. You guys want to bang an event? You want 10,000 spectators? You want all these people? Share the flyers that we make for you. Share the event. Tag people. Invite people. Help us. We've got 10,000 other things we got to do. We got to deal with the fire marshal. We got to deal with, in some cases, the city. We got to deal with EMTs. We got to deal with the police department. We got to deal with the convention center. If you ever done an event outdoors and you did an event with the city, you got to deal with public works. Holy crap, there's so much more. And on top of that, we're still providing content. Klean provides numerous amounts of content. That's all we do is create. We're creating right now. I'll be creating all week. Non-stop. We put out probably the most flyers for all the events. We are constantly creating, but we're not doing it no more. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time. I'm literally wasting time creating promos for you vendors not to share them on your social media. I had 5 or 6 people tell me, oh man, I didn't know such and such was going to even be here. We never even saw their share their post. That says a lot. If customers walk through the door and say, wow, I didn't even know you were going to be here, that means you didn't do your job. You should have shared the post. You should have let people know you were going to be there. That's how this works, man. I struggled this year. We struggled. Klean struggled. My staff struggled. We all struggled. And I'm not the only event. I'm not the only event that's in this situation. There's plenty of other events. It's like people are just not talking about it, but I am. I'm going to open up and I'm going to talk about it. You guys want good, successful events? Help us. Promoters, you guys want good, successful event? Stop booking dates on top of other people's dates. Talk to each other. Help each other out. Man, even if you don't vibe with them, still reach out and be like, hey man, just letting you know I'm doing an event this day. Just don't want any conflict. Man, simple. You know why? Because that helps both of you. You don't got to separate the crowd. Maximum exposure, maximum capacity. That's how this is supposed to be. I know there's events this weekend up and down the East Coast. I know that. But you know how this works good? When you put yourself out there and you're willing to help that event or that promoter or that brand, whatever you want to call it, and you help them push. That's what makes a successful event. So, Klean had a bad year. Well, am I not allowed to have a bad year? Are businesses not allowed to have a bad year? Tell me Walmart doesn't have bad years? and bad numbers, GameStop, Target, Sam's Club, all these big businesses, you think they don't have bad days? Huh? How about if you walk into the mall, those little kiosks, Champs, Foot Action, you think they don't have bad days? Do you see them going on social media crying that they had a bad day? No, they get up and they figure it out and they keep on moving. See, but that's the problem with some of you. Instead of helping and saying, hey, man, let me help you get a bigger reach. Now you go on social media and you screenshot, or better said, you type up messages and you send them to people and you screenshot that and you screenshot this. Oh, Sam had a shitty event. He had 100 cars. Oh, I'm not going to support Klean. If this is. Man, how about you help us and you help other events? Because one day you can wake up and your brand can be nothing. I've seen tons of brands just pop off and then I've seen them disappear easily. And the only way that won't happen is for you to support so we can support you. Because right now, I have a very nice list of some of you. I don't care how much you pay me. I don't care how big my event is or how small. I don't want you coming back to my event because you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. You know why? Because I put myself out there for you guys. I put myself out there for you guys to have a good event, but you guys ain't supporting. Cars, people, vendors, you guys are not supporting. Is the truth. There's plenty out there that has seen, that witnessed, that me go out there and support other events. I've supported other events. I've supported other brands. I've supported other businesses. Have you seen them at my shows? How about you guys that inboxed me this season asking about, hey man, I'm going to do a show. Can you help me out figure out the insurance? And I was there to help you out with trying to get your insurance. Hey Sam, I'm going to do this event outdoors and I'm having problems with the city. Man, can you help me out to figure this out? Sam was there to help you out. Hey Sam, I need a layout. You did the same venue that I did. Hey, can you help me out so I can figure this layout out? Sam gave you the layout. And this is not bullshit. I have all that shit on my phone. And out of respect for certain people, I'm not going to name drop. But you know who you are. You know who you are. But then you guys won't support me. You guys won't come to my show. You guys won't share a post. You guys won't give me the same love that I gave you, the same respect that I gave you. So why should I continue? I'm only going to do for those that have shown me they've done for me. That's where we're at for this year. Greenville might have been slow, but it was a vibe. Those of you who enjoyed it, I appreciate you. Those of you who came out to Greenville and supported and vibed with us and vibed with the wrestling, thank you. Thank you for continuing to support us and believing in us, because it meant a lot. Those of you who stepped up and helped out, like I said, with the fire marshal, with taking down the stage, with cleaning up, just even watching over our kids. You know, my kids don't come to my shows, and they were there this time, and you guys were there to take care of them, make sure that they were okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You know, again, there's some of you who I will give you the shirt off my back, and there's some of you I don't even care for you anymore. You've shown your true colors to me. There's no need for us to even exist in the same vicinity at this point, because you guys are truly hypocrites. To tell me I'm here for you and that I love you and I'm here to support you, but then to send out multiple messages that I received. It is what it is, man. Klean is coming back in 2024. We've got several events lined up. Very small, intimate VIP events. We're going to be out supporting other brands across the nation. Moving over towards the West Coast. That is our goal. I keep telling y'all, Klean is a household name. It's not about the events. I can give two craps about the events. I have a shop that is growing. Businesses coming in through the doors. We've got Klean Magazine. We're about to drop the next issue now in December. So be on the lookout for that. We've got 2 new chemicals coming out for Klean products in 2024. So we'll have the tire shine plus 2 more products, Klean will become a household name. I promise you that. I promise you. It's not just about the shows. There's such more of a bigger picture, and you guys are going to miss out. Why? Because you weren't willing to support. I'll catch you at the next podcast, man. Much love.